हरिपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Okay, there was a question come up. Okay, said yato vacho nivartante. Says if there is something like that, then you will never be able to know it. The only way that the teaching works is you happen to be that. That's correct. See, that's why I elaborately explained last time. When you say yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha, what it is doing is dismissing the fact that you are going to objectify it. Because how do you know anything and everything in the world? Anything that you know, two things are important. One, there should be a pramana for it. Second, the mind should be involved. No mind, no knowledge, spiritual or otherwise. Because the moment you say knowledge, it's a thing that the mind does. And the mind knows everything. And supposing you are talking with respect to words, knowledge that you gain through words, through shabda. As far as the world is concerned, every shabda pramanam, every object revealed by shabda pramanam is also available for another pramana. I talk about Gomukh. Is it available for your perception? I talk about a river. Available for your perception? I talk about a cell. Available for your perception? So, as far as the world is concerned, this is natural. That everything that you know will be available for perception. Everything in the world is available, if the Shabda Pramana works, is available for perception. Then the question comes, what about Paroksha Jnanam? Away from you. Gomukh is away from you. It will become available for your perception only when you go near. So, once you go near, even though it is available for your perception, the words will work. Words describe it to you. And sometimes words may be necessary. You land up at Gomukh, but you don't know it is Gomukh. Then what? Hey, what is this cave? Hey, that's Gomukh. Ah, okay. Oh yeah, the Ganga coming out. Correct, correct. Now I have also taken people to Gomukh. Say, but I don't see a cow's head there. It won't be there. To a cave or a piece of land, etc., there are two descriptions given. Gomukh and Simhamukha. Gomukh means narrow entrance, it broadens afterwards. The entrance is narrow, it spreads behind. Simhamukha is the same. It's broad, right through. Yeah. That's how it is. Okay. Then according to Vastu, each has his own characteristics, etc., etc., etc. So everything available for Shabda Pramana in the world is also available for other Pramana. Then there are some which are Nitya Paroksha. As long as you live, it will be Paroksha. Talk about heaven, etc. It's always Paroksha for you, no? Until you go there, that is after death. So as long as you live, it is Paroksha only. Then the question comes about what the Atma is. And when you say present, the Atma is limitless, no amount of description will work. Because the more you describe, the more finite you make it. More the descriptions, more the finite it becomes. So, the limitless cannot be described by finite words. Correct? Number one. Number two, if it is really limitless, you cannot have a subject-object relationship. Because you cannot stand separate from it. Not understanding these things carefully, when they hear yato vacho nivartante, etc., they make a different philosophy of transcending, etc. To talk about it in public, it is okay. You inspire people, but that is not studying. Okay. Atma is beyond the mind, beyond this is what you have to realize. Inspiring. ठीक है. For inspiration, it is fine. But that's not learning. That's not understanding anything. And it can put you on a trip. Next 20 years, you will sit down trying to transcend your mind. Yeah. You know, the problem of this transcending the mind meditation is, neither are you following the meditation processes put in yoga, energy work, etc. That process you are not following. Nor are you knowing the truth. You are left hanging in between. Nididhyasana is not happening. Nor is the meditation that is supposed to bring about changes in you happening. The meditation that is supposed to bring out changes in you, transform your this thing, involves a lot of breathing. Now that is junked in transcending the mind meditation. You will say, watch your breathing, watch your breathing. Very superficial it is. Yeah. Even we, when we are doing Nididhyasanam, keep it at a lighter level, this watching your breath. Why? Because we are doing Nididhyasanam, not this watching the breath. That part of it is not important. But in transcending the mind, neither Nididhyasanam is happening nor the other part of meditation is happening. So you are stuck in between. All this because people don't recognize one very, very important thing. That I know I am. The ignorance is only with respect to what I am. Since I know I am is very, very clear. I don't need a thought to know I am. I know I am without the necessity of a pramana or a thought. Then all the teaching is doing is saying what you are, revealing what you are. what that I is. First of all, you have to get familiar with that I. So for that, I have to negate the fundamental notions that you have about yourself. In the traditional teaching, we start with body, mind, etc. Okay, normally. And when you read a book, it starts with body, mind, this, that, etc. You are negating. But what has to be negated are the psychological ramifications of taking the body, mind, etc. as yourself. Because with this body and mind, you are playing a lot of roles. Every role involves a self-judgment, creating a sense of false identity. And you hold on to that, you hold on to that. You hold on to something that you left behind 20 years ago. Negation of that is the issue. All this bundle of self-judgments you are carrying inside. If you say, I don't care for something, I don't care for Karela, no problems. You can have pumpkin instead. You can have okra instead. It's not a big issue. But then now you will create a certain identity out of it, a certain justification for your stand. You don't have to do any justification. I don't like it, I don't like it. Ho gaya kaam, no. No issue. I don't like it. Big deal. But when you create a whole psychological basis for it, I just gave Karela as an example. It can be a million things like that. Or I like something. And then you carry it forward in your roles, this, that, etc. And every role you are having a self-judgment on it. Successful, not successful. Okay. This has worked in this role. It has worked in that role. It may not work in some other role. You may have to drop it completely. So these self-judgments that come out of the roles, those are the ones that create the problem. That is what has to be negated. How is it easy to say, I am not the body, I am not the mind? What do you mean you are not the body? I remember I must have been a 19-year-old teenager. And there was someone in the class who kept saying, no, you have to understand this, I am not the body. I gave him one whack. Why are you hitting me? I said, you said you are not the body, now what's your problem then? He couldn't answer. He couldn't say that he is not the body in spite of the pain. I am not the pain also. Can you say that? How many of us can say that? I am not the pain that I feel. To be able to say that, you need titiksha in the beginning. Can you see that? Why titiksha is kept? Because you can put up with discomforts, including pain. Then to say, I am not the body is feasible. But we don't have that. We just mechanically mouth something. We don't see ourselves as independent of the body. We say it, but you don't see yourself as independent of the body. Therefore, it takes a long time to come to the thing that I am the one who is aware of all this. Then the I that is aware of all this about what is the nature, that is all that is revealed in Vedanta. And since I am already know I am, and I am comfortable with that I, the one who is aware of everything, then whatever is said will work. Otherwise, you will come and try and repeat it to me in your own words and say, Swamiji, is this correct? Why do you want to change the words? Why do you want to change the words? Are you seeing my words exactly for what it is? Doubt hai. Why doubt? Because of this. You are not at home with the one that is aware of everything else. That's why in the Taittiriiya beginning, lot of upasanas etc. was given to come to that. The simple Sakshi Bhava meditation we teach. Come to that I, the simple I. That's why I always said, na, learn to function as a simple person. Na? Unless in your role that you are playing, where you have to take on some things, just be a simple person. Yeah. Just a simple person. Even that people find difficult. Forget Sakshi. Simple person is difficult. Gets loaded with all your background. When I say simple person, what is it? Thinking, feeling, doing. But the thinking connected with a lot of stuff. Feeling connected with even more stuff. Yeah. So many things you need to work on. So, yato vacho nivartante is true. None of this is involved in the knowing the self. The simple person who is aware of everything, that I, the Sakshi, the witness, is limitlessness, that's all. So, without subject-object relationship, you appreciate that. I gave you the technical details earlier. Vritti Vyapti, Phala Vyapti, etc. Yeah. So, that which is beyond the mind should be known by the mind, because it is in and through the mind as well. That's why I gave that example also. Kid coming and asking me, Swami uncle, what is space? Remember that? Yeah. So, if I make a stupid thing like saying where the sun and the moon and the stars are, naturally he'll come with that example. Yeah. So, that's where the whole thing is. And if that kid cannot recognize that there is space in him, do you ever think he'll understand what is all-pervading space? If you can't understand the space is in and through you, will you never understand that space is all-pervading? No, no? Or you people are thinking, yeah, possible. So the same way, if you can't see yourself as independent of the body, mind, etc., you'll never understand the limitless nature of your own being. That's why he spent so much of time describing each level that you make a mistake. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. And then he said, Brahma Pucham Pratishtam. Brahman is the basis for the whole thing. Ananda Brahmeti. All this is to make this. Utkramya, Utkramya, Utkramya. All that also he said. After the whole teaching also he came back to it, isn't it? Annamayam Atmanam Utkramya. All that is what? Reinforcing the beginning itself. Reinforcing the beginning, yeah. Okay, I hope that is clear. Yeah? Okay. Yeah, towards the end of it, I think last verse is left in that section. So that Bhisha. Yeah. Then after saying that Yato Vacho Nevartante, etc., he said, Etaha Vavana Tapati. We have chanted this, no? Yeah, Vavana Tapati. Okay. He is not troubled by such thoughts. He is not troubled by such thoughts. Okay. What is that? Kimaha sadhuna akaravam. Why did I not do the good things I could have done when I had the chance? I did not do. Okay. This is when you are taking stock of your life, more toward the end of your life. Hey, but there's one thing about the new year, take stock. What's so big thing about celebrating New Year here? Earth did one pradakshina of the sun, itna. Earth went round the sun once. This is all that New Year is about, isn't it? It's been happening for millions of years here. What's the big deal about it? New Year celebrations. Party night, get drunk. For what? Because Earth went round the sun. What did you do? Nothing. What's the big deal about it? Whole world goes bad New Year's Eve. ठीक है. And of course, when New Year's Eve you break crackers and all that fireworks you have, that's all pure oxygen coming out. Only for Diwali pollutions come out, okay? Diwali crackers are pollution. But New Year Eve crackers are all pure oxygen only comes out. Revade, okay? Jokes apart. So what's the big deal? It's at the same time the good point. Why you are having one point? That is because we are following the Gregorian calendar. There are a lot of calendars in the world. Gregorian happens to be the most widespread usage. Okay, so everything they said before Christ, after his dominion. So he said before Christ, okay, fine. That measurement is after his domain. Now it is become before common era, after common era. You know? Because they don't want to put only as a Christian thing. So what happened is, before Christ and after his domain, he lived for 32 years. Where did the 32 years go? Really, it is missing. If you look at the time frame in the Gregorian calendar, 32 years are missing from it. So 2025 plus 32, it should become what? 2057, really speaking. Yeah, it's missing. I'm not joking. Go check up with experts on this. They'll tell you that. Anyway, one round, 1 point, reference point. Acha, look back. See what you have done, not done. What you have to celebrate. What you have to grieve over. Do all that. What you can hope for, plan for in the next year. Do that. Acha. So that's where this thing comes up. Kimaham sadhuna karavam. I could have done so much of good. Why did I not do that? Kimavaha papam karavam. Why did I do all the wrong things? Kimaham papam akaravam. Why did I do all the wrong things? That guilt is naturally there, no? We are humans. We make mistakes. Okay. Sayam eva vidnaneti atmanas pranoti. He says, the one who knows the truth, both these type of thinking doesn't touch him. Why? I am neither the doer nor the receiver. The one who does, not does, etc. is the ahankara. What is the ahankara? The idea that you have about yourself based in ignorance. Swamiji, that's simple. I never feel guilty at anything. Why you have become so insensitive? What? Another extreme. We should not feel guilt. We should not feel regrets. But what happens when you do a wrong thing? Are you making amends? Yeah, don't feel guilty. Say, recognize that there is something wrong, because guilt is inbuilt in you. That inbuilt is what? A recognition, like a red light on your dashboard. Something comes up, it has to be taken care of. Something is wrong with the engine, take care of it. Maybe oil, maybe water, maybe whatever. Take care of it. So guilt is like that. So take care of it now. I'm turning off that light only. What will happen? Turn off the light on the dashboard. Showing low oil. But you turned off that light. Instead of spending $10 on that oil, you will have to spend $10,000 on repairing that car afterwards. Same thing with a human being. If you're going to turn off this and say, I don't feel guilty, you're doing a lot of wrong things, damaging yourself. It doesn't affect the wise person differently, because he has gone beyond good and bad. All that is connected with your ahankara. Ahankara is your conceptual self, born of ignorance. And this is what you really are. Therefore, you are not troubled by these things. You mean to say the wise person will not make a mistake? Of course he can make a mistake. If he makes a mistake, he will correct it. Make amends for it. Or kya? Yeah. You can also make mistakes. Okay. Yeah. All right. Ubeyesha eti atmanam na spranoti. Both these cannot touch you. Ya evam veda. Neither what you have done, nor what you have not done, nor what others are doing to you, doesn't touch you, the Atma. I awareness is untouched by all these things. Body and mind, of course, it's touched. Yeah. Guna guneshu vartante iti matvana sajjate. सुना है ना गीता में? Whose phone is on? Body and mind is functioning in their respective fields. I don't do anything. Yeah. So this is the understanding. So freedom from hurt, pain, guilt, etc. is natural for the person who knows the truth. At the same time, okay, Swamiji, I have hurt and guilt, etc. So I will know the truth directly, then I will be free from everything. No? If your mind is full of hurt, pain, guilt, etc., you will not be able to know the truth. Why? Bahut bhusa bhara hai. Too much of junk in your mind. That's why there is a Zen statement, empty thyself and I shall fill thee. You have too much of stuff, nonsense here. You need to remove that. You need to manage your guilt, hurt, pain, all the desires, etc. It has to be manageable. Then whatever little bit is left behind, after you have psychologically dealt with it, what little scarring is left behind, that is gone with the knowledge. So don't say, I am feeling very hurt, etc. Now I will learn Vedanta and know the truth. Then I will be Ananda. That Ananda will come filtered through your pain. The teaching you are Ananda will come filtered through your pain. So it will become very painful Ananda. Manage it. Take care of it. That psychological work has to be done. It comes under the adhikaritvam of sadhana chatushtaya. Shat sampatti, samadamaha comes under that. samadama uparatiti. So the mind is quieted down, it's peaceful. Okay. There's some equipoise inside, some inner peace is there. Then when you expose, whole thing works. Yeah. So that is the end of this chapter. Okay, the second chapter, second part, second book. Now the next section is called Bhruguvali. Okay, Bhrigu is a great rishi in the Upanishad. Okay, this is recognized as one of the great rishis in our tradition. And this is talking about Bhrigus going as a student to show that even masters have masters. Okay. Nobody gets this knowledge without having a teacher. Nobody gets it. Okay. If you say, I sat on top of a mountain peak and I got it, he is bluffing you. He must have got some insights about things. Some things must have worked in his brain also. I am not saying no to all that. But not Sachidananda Atma. Other things you can get. Yeah. One guy dipped into a bathtub and jumped out and ran all over the world saying, Eruka, Eruka. Archimedes principle. You discovered that in a bathtub. That can happen. Ho sakta hai. Yeah. So similarly, sitting on a mountain peak, you can get some things. Why not? Yeah. Of course you will get. I mean, come on, you are sitting quiet on a mountain peak, you will get some insights. It won't be aham ananda. It will be some experience, some beatitude, some insights, which is good. It's good to get those things. I am not saying no against that. Yeah. But it will not be Vedanta Jnana. That you need to be exposed to some learning. It may be minimalistic. And Bhrigu is considered great because the teaching he received was very, very minimalistic. Okay. So let us look at that. Panchabhagation, you're back to chanting. Hold on. Yeah.
What about Ramana Maharishi and all?
They all had teaching in their own way. Ramana Maharshi had 2 words. The 2 words was enough for him. Yeah. Everyone had teaching in some form or the other. Yeah. Yeah. Even Buddha had in some form or the other. None of these people had a single teacher, that's all. Yeah. Especially Buddha. Who wants to accept Buddha as a student here? It's like supposing Modi wants to go and join an ashram now. He says, I'm 75, I'm retiring, I'm handing over the Prime Minister to Sharma, I'm going to go and join an ashram. Which ashram will want him? Tell me. The ashram will become a media circus here. He's too popular. If Mukesh Ambani says, I am going to go and join an ashram, many people will say, come, paisa aa jayega. Will become a media circus. Nothing to do with whether they are capable of learning or not. Yeah. Modi started with a spiritual pursuit, so I know he is capable of learning. Yeah. Yeah. He knows a great deal himself. Yeah. But that apart. So similarly, who will want Prince Siddhartha coming in? Problem hai. Plus, how do I know your father will not follow you and chop my head off, saying that you have waylaid my son and got him on the wrong path? होता है ना ऐसा? Yeah. So okay. All right. Anyway, application back to the chanting. Yeah.
सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः भृगुर्वैर्वारुणिः वरुणं पितरमुपससार अधीः भगवो ब्रह्मेति तस्मा एतत् प्रोवाच अन्नं प्राणं चक्षुश्रोत्रं मनोवाचमिति सगुम्भोवाच यतो वा इमानि भूतानि जायन्ते येन चातानि जीवन्ति यत्प्रयत्नपि संविशन्ति तद्विजिज्ञासस्व तद्ब्रह्मेति सदमोतप्यत सददप्तप्त्वा.
Okay. The prayer verse is common to right through the whole Upanishad. Then he says, huh?
Third time.
Yeah, third time. Yeah. Bhrugur vai Varunihi. Bhruguhu. He was the son of Varuna. As we see in a few pictures where all the Saptarishis were taught, yeah, Dakshinamurti is that one way of looking at it, okay, as Ishvara. Now here, Bhrigu, son of Varuni. Varuna, son of Varuna is called Varunihi. Dasharatha's son is called what? Dasharati. Okay. Bhrigu's son will be called what? Bhargava. It is called Adi Vriddhi. The first vowel gets strengthened, elongated. So there are some rules. So Bhrigu will become R. Bhargava. R na, is Rkara. So it will become R. Br is the first vowel. R is the first vowel. So it will become R, strengthening. Whereas Dasharatha is simple. Dasharati. Okay. So Bhrigu vai Varunihi. Bhrigu, son of Varuna. Varunam pitaram upasasara. He approached his father. Approached his father, क्या बोलने का बात है क्या? Son and father meet every day, na? They're staying in the same house, same Gurukula, whatever. No. But today was different. Today there is a difference. Why? He's no more going as son to his dad. No saying dad. No. What is that? Adihi Bhagavo Brahmeti. He's going as a student now. Must be father, that's okay. Can be anything. Okay? But now he's going as a student. Hey Bhagavan, Brahmaniti Adihi, teach me about Brahman. I want to know what is Brahman. Teach me the truth, teach me the reality. Now, we don't know anything more of the background. Probably, Bhrigu has already been exposed to some of this. I am making that inference based on the teaching, okay, that he gave. Already must have had some exposure, some background. No? Ancient India, everyone had some exposure. Especially son of a rishi, other rishis are discussing. Yeah, the guy is quietly sitting and listening. Oh, okay. Otherwise, how did he even know the word Brahman? Yeah. Adi Bhagavo Brahmeti, please teach me about Brahman. So, the father replies. And the reply is very interesting. Okay. What is that? Annam, food. Prana, your energy that has gone from your eating your food, etc., your biological process, your breathing, all of that. Pranam. Chakshuhu, your eyes. Kshotram, your ears. Manaha, mind. Vachamiti. All these are meant for knowledge. So don't say, I'm going to stop eating, I'm going to fast 1 week in a row because I want knowledge. No. When you are after, don't. We need you functional. If 10 days you stop eating, then you are not functional. Or you're only thinking of food? You see, it's very interesting. He says, your normal life is important, he says. You're not making a religion out of the kitchen. Be normal. Use your eyes, ears, nose, etc. All that, whatever. Meaning, the means of knowledge necessary that you have, you are supposed to use. You are supposed to use all that. If I say something, you are supposed to understand. Your mind should be there. Not keep your mind blank. Samajhi, I come with a clean slate every class. Itna clean, wiped clean every class. You said, na, empty yourself and I will fill. What has to be retained, okay? Yeah. Therefore, prana, chakshu, all that is. Then he says, tam huvacha. What? The teaching. Yato imani bhutani jayante. From where all this is born. Yena jatani jivanti. By which all these beings, all these things are sustained. Yat pretya bisham vishanti iti, into which they all get resolved on death. Tad vijignyasasva, know that. Tad brahmeti, that is Brahman. Satapas tapyata. Go. Do some tapas on it. Just imagine you will come for a Vedanta class and this is what I say. Go. Chalo. What tapas? Jnanamayam tapaha. Jnanamayam tapaha. There are various tapases. Various forms of tapas. With the body, keep fasting. Not intermittent fasting. That's only for 16 hours max. No, Samji, 1 meal a day. Try 3 days and then tell me. Ho sakta hai. We have done all this, okay. Physical, prana level, tapas, emotion level. Okay. Most important tapas is what? Jnanamayam, clear thinking. Clear thinking, without bias, without this clear analysis. To understand. Jnanamayam tapaha, contemplation. Jnanamayam tapaha. Your contemplation is called tapas, which is jnanamayam. So he says, sa tapas taptva. So the boy went. Bhrigu, youngster, he went. Baith ke socha. That from which everything is born, that by which everything is sustained, that into which everything is resolved. Ye kya ho sakta hai? What can that be? So he thought. But then after that he has to check up what he thought is correct or not. So a doubt tha. So he came back to his father to check up. Punjab occasion, what happened next?
The student is doing vichara too fast.
Yeah, too fast vichara ho jata hai.
I have to catch up some breath.
Yeah. Yeah. 1 second. Yes, Sanchit, you asked a question.
Yes, Maharaj. So, Annam refers to the body here.
We'll come. I'll come to all that. Yeah. Yeah, Punjab occasion. Please go ahead.
Annam brahme divya janat annad eva bhuta annad eva kalvimani bhutani annena jathani jivanti annam prayatna visambhishanti tad vijnaya punareva varnam pidaram upasasara adihi bhagaho brahmeti tagam hovacha tapasa brahma vijigyasasva tapo brahmeti sadabo tapyada sadadap tattva.
Okay. So he thought, That by which everything is come, that by which everything is sustained, that into which everything is resolved. Okay, what is that? He says, Annam Brahmeti. Food is Brahman. Why? Because we are all born of food, na? Look at our bodies. We are born of food. Okay? Food that the parents have eaten became a zygote. Then the mother kept on eating all nutritious food, more than necessary sometimes. Oh, ghee sab pilata hai, khilata hai. More than necessary. So has born a nice fat chubby baby. Overweight problem starts there itself. Okay. Born like that. Then I ate all the food to sustain myself. Then when I die, I will become food. Huh? How you will become food? Either the worms will get you, because in some religion they bury you, then the worms eat you up. Okay? If you are a Parsi, the vultures will feed on you. They will get you. Now, Swamiji, we are Hindus. We burn our bodies. Then you put into the river, flooding it comes to the shore. You become pumpkin for your grandchildren. Goes back to food only. Yeah. If you are a sadhu or a sailor, you are put into the water, burial at sea or burial in the Ganga. Then the fishes have a feast on you. इतना ही बात है. Yeah. So, born of food, sustained by food, goes back into being food. क्या बड़ा बात है इसमें? Therefore, annam brahmeti. Now, this annam brahmeti can be taken only if you take body as me. Only then you can take the stand. Now, you know why this is called annamaya kosha? Because body is me, food. I have already taken body as me. Therefore, from that standpoint, when I am looking what is this, how the statement works, then naturally I will take annam as Brahman, annam brahmeti. So, as starting point, that starting point is sacred. In fact, they said that, no? Annam na nindyat, don't say no to food. Annam is sacred. Correct. All that is the sacredness of the food, etc. is maintained. Yeah. In fact, there is a sect of sadhus called Avdutas. In our neighboring ashram in Rishikesh is Avdut ashram. Avdut Vada it's called. Avdut ashram. So when we used to have a bandara there in olden days, the Mahant was there, the old man was there. Hari Singh. He is no more. He had a samadhi some time back. So he would come and sing after the bandara is over, what is called Roti ke Aarti. Roti hi sab kuch hai, roti hi Pandav mara, roti hi Pandav paya. Yeah. Annam Brahmeti it is, yeah. In the Hindi version of Annam Brahmeti, all right, you study all that. Tad Vijnaya, understanding that very well. But he feels the need for verification. Punareva varunam pitaram upasasara. He came to his father again. Adihi devo brahmeti. That Adihi devo brahmeti now he is saying because he presented his viewpoint. This is it. Have I understood Brahman properly? Have I understood Brahman properly? Annam brahmeti. And what did the father say? Simple. Tam huacha. The father said what? Tapasa brahma vijijnasasva. Understand Brahman by tapas. Tapo brahmeti. Let tapas be the reality for you right now. That means what? What you have done is not enough. The tapas that you have done is not enough. Let tapas be your reality. Until you come to the truth, tapas is the only thing in your life. You are supposed to do vichara. Tapo brahmeti, take tapas as Brahman for you. So what? He goes back. sa tapas tapyatah, sa tapas taptva. He did the tapas. And he came to a new conclusion. What is that new conclusion? Okay, where is Punjab vacation? Okay. Punjab, are you there?
Yes, I am here only.
Okay, okay. Chapter 3.
Okay. Prano brahme divyajanaat pranat eva kalvimani bhutani jayate pranena jatani jivanti pranaprayat abhisamvishanti tat vijnaya punareva varunam pitaramupasasara adhige bhagaho brahmeti sagam hovacha tapasa brahma vijigyasasva tapo brahmeti sadapo tapyata sadatat tattva.
Okay. So remember the father said, Tapasa Brahma Vijijnasasva. Tapas is what? Jnanamayam. Go think more. You are not thought enough. Understand my definition of Brahman. You are not understood enough. So keep thinking. Tapas. Do vichara properly. That involves questioning your identification, etc. All that is involved. Because that's all part of the whole thing. Because that from which everything has come, that by which everything is sustained, that into which everything is resolved. In fact, in the Brahma Sutra, second sutra, definition of Brahman, Vyasa uses this definition of Brahman. Yato imani bhutani jayante jatani jivanti preti abhisham vishanti iti. This is the definition that is used. Why not Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, etc.? When you all come to Brahma Sutras, I'll explain that. Okay? Right now, this is it. All right. So, okay, he said, all right. But you know, people not are sustained by food. You know. There is this whole cosmic energy that keeps you and me alive. Even without food, we'll be alive for quite a long time. No? Especially like all of us, we are having a lot of adipose tissues all around us. We'll last for a long time. For a long time. The prana is what sustains. Prana is the universal cosmic energy that is flowing through you all the time, which is manifest in you as the 5 pranas. Breathing, circulation, etc., etc. So he says, all right, prana dievi khalvi imani bhutani jayanti. You are born because of prana. You are living because of prana. If the prana stops, you stop. You can have all the food in the world, but if the prana is not functioning, everything is gone. Does tapas not mean tolerance, endurance? Who said all these things? In this context, tapas means thinking. In different contexts, tapas can have different meaning. But right here, this is it. Tolerance and etc. is never the meaning of tapas. Okay, yeah. Therefore, he says, pranaine jatani jivanti. Energy sustains you. Believe me, if I cut off the energy flowing into you, you will collapse. Yeah. Maybe in some camp I will demonstrate this. Yeah. Yeah, I can demonstrate this. We have done all these things. Okay. You will see you collapse. Or see an 80-kilo guy carried on one finger by 4 people. Yeah. What happened to you? Prana is gone. You're weightless. Yeah. All this can be demonstrable. Okay. Right. Pranene jatani jivanti. Pranam preti abhisham vishanti iti. Dying, you go back into the prana. Why? Your prana, individual prana, is resolved into the cosmic prana. Ho gaya kaam. Now, this cannot be said unless you have taken your identification with your energy system. You are the prana. Therefore, identification with the cosmic prana. This is a prana sustains you, prana. Okay. Tad vijnaya. Now, you understood this well. What happens? Punereva varunam pitaram upasasara. To verify with the father, no? Correct hai kya nahi? Okay, he came. Adihi bhaguvo brahmeti. That Guru, this is my conclusion. बराबर है, ठीक है, नहीं है, whatever. Tam huvacha. The father replies, Tapasa Brahma Vijijnasasva. No Brahman by tapas, tapo brahmeti. They are on track, but not enough. बहुत बाकी है अभी. बहुत बाकी है. Let tapas be your life. Okay? Let tapas be your life. और विचार करो. बहुत तप करने का है अभी. विचार, lot of vicharam is left. So do more vichara. Tapo brahmeti. See, by his own thinking, he has moved from the body to the prana. Okay. But at every stage, he feels the need to verify, to check up. Okay. He needs to verify, to check up. Therefore, he comes. So he goes back to do more tapas. Okay. He goes back to do more tapas. Then naturally, he'll come back with manas, vijnanam, knowledge, etc. Now, before the next class, do some thinking. What is that thinking? Annam, we are born from, etc. is very clear. Think a bit about how it is from prana. How we are born from prana, sustained by prana. How we are born from mind, sustained by the mind, emotions, etc. How do you come to that conclusion? How do you come to the conclusion that you are born of vijnanam, knowledge? थोड़ा ऐसा सोचना अच्छा है. To think like this is good, because then you will understand what Taittiriiya is trying to say. You will understand where you are stuck. That also you will understand, because all of us are stuck somewhere. Why am I saying that? Otherwise, all of us would have been wise people, no? Na tvam guru, na ham sishya. You'll be able to say that. Huh? But abhi tak to bola nahi na. Up to now, you don't feel like that. Therefore, some studying is necessary. Therefore, think of these. Okay? At least up to Vijnanam. Think of this much.
Swamiji, I had a question.
Yeah?
I think my camera this today somebody is muted, disabled it. I can't.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yeah. Swamiji, this he keeps saying tapaso brahmanan.
Yeah.
So on his own, how can he go into such deeper realms of thinking? To go from anagmaya to prana. It's like without a support.
That's why I said he must have had some exposure. That's why I said he must have had some exposure already.
Yeah.
That is one thing. Or traditionally we also say that was special about Bhrigu. He was a great tapasvi. With just that definition he could work on it. That much of teaching was enough for him. The tatastha lakshana of Brahman was enough for him to understand Brahman. So that was special about him. Like what is special about Ramana? A few words was enough for him to understand. So that is special.
So I think like they are called drishtas. No, they've seen it. So after knowing some knowledge, they keep meditating and then they keep. That is how they get it, or
it's not meditating. It is vichara. There is a big difference between vichara and meditation. To move from from annam brahmeti to pranam brahma, lot of thinking is involved. That's why I asked you all to go and think. Now you know why I am saying giving this homework.
Because on our own, I think how will we go on that side? No, it is not easy to.
That's why I think. Yeah.
Decipher every layer of your being and unfold every part of your psyche and subconscious and superconscious and unconscious and whatever it is.
So both bhusa bara hua hai. That's all it means.
And it's not. We don't know where we are caught like.
That's why viveka buddhi, cultivate viveka, clear thinking. When things are mixed up, learn to separate out and look at things. Learn to go to the core issue of things. All this I have been saying in the class. I remember even took a thinking workshop for y'all. Thinking in terms of how it affects your emotions and how to clear up the distortions. Long back when we did the Gita. Yeah. And then later on also different styles of thinking. Routine thinking, creative thinking, action oriented thinking, all that, remember? 6 different styles of it. Yeah. All this is part of our learning in olden days. Schools were taught all this, school boys were taught all this. Sorry, Gurukulam boys were taught all that. Youngsters. Yeah, clear thinking is important. You know, nowadays because of so much of so-called mystics around, thinking gets a bad name. The highest equipment you have is thinking. Would you have higher than that? It's not about thinking, it's about feeling. You feel like an idiot sometimes? Yeah, very good. Fits you. Because if you give up thinking, that's what you will feel. Yeah. So think all this, and then we will come back to the remaining part. Okay, good place to stop. Om Tat Sat.